How hard is the Whole Enchilada? Can I ride the Whole Enchilada? How to prepare for the Whole Enchilada?
All right, Burro Pass.
I can remember Googling all of these topics before I rode this trail my very first time, just a few years ago.
This has gotten eaten up over the years.
34 miles through the Utah desert can be quite the undertaking. So, I've put this video together
Dusty.
in hopes of helping you decide whether or not this is an adventure you want to embark on. Or, if you've already made up your mind, to help you prepare for your adventure ahead.
Big bomb holes too.
From the shuttle drop-off point, you'll need to first climb roughly 700 feet to an elevation of over 11,000 feet. The climb to the top of Burro Pass is steep and loose.
Ooh, this is steep.
And the air is thin, so you'll be doing a fair amount of hiking.
Oh God, nope, did not make that.
Footage that I've failed to include because, well, it's not that fun to do, so it's probably not that fun to watch.
Oh my God, it's so dry.
But then there's the descent. And let's be honest, that's why you're here.
Holy f***, that's gotten big. I've never seen it that deep.
This trail boasts about 8,000 feet of downhill. Down Burro Pass, Hazard County, the Kokopelli Trail, UPS, LPS, and eventually Porcupine Rim single track. You'll descend from the dense carnivorous forests of the La Salles and eventually flow atop the cliffsides that tower over the mighty Colorado River. It's a hell of a day, and it doesn't necessarily ease into things.
Oh my God. It is so steep and so loose in there. What? It's steeper than I remember.
Burro Pass, in my opinion, might be the most physically demanding section of the Whole Enchilada. Managing loose dirt, baby heads, and root balls will feel like a continuous, never-ending task. Fortunately, it's one of my favorite tasks. But starting way up high like this means the trail is more susceptible to wet conditions. While shuttle companies may be operating in the early spring and late fall, they may not necessarily be going all the way to the top. Snowy and wet roads can mean you'll be getting dropped off somewhere below Burro Pass. So, planning that your day on the Whole Enchilada starts with a rip down Burro Pass can kinda be a crapshoot. Because I'm definitely not trying to ride 34 miles through the Utah desert in the middle of the summer, when temps can reach triple digits.
Wait here for Anna. Ooh, shake out the wrists.
So, while the window is small and access to Burro is never a certainty, I always try to aim for a fall ride down the Whole Enchilada, which gives me the added benefit of a long summer season to get myself into riding shape. Oh, and a quick note, even during those hot days in the spring and fall, the temperatures up top can easily be 30 degrees cooler and not warm up until you've reached Kokopelli Trail, so you may want to consider layering up. The Whole Enchilada gets its name from the fact that you're riding from top to bottom, taking on all that these trails throw at you. So, if you're not descending from the top of Burro, you're not technically riding the Whole Enchilada. But, not to worry, there are multiple access points to this trail network, all of which will make for a great day of riding.
So pretty.
When Burro is too wet to ride, you'll want to cross your fingers for a shuttle to the top of Hazard County. While still exhausting in its own right, Hazard is much less steep than Burro. So, you'll be able to relax that death grip you have on your brakes, which are probably glowing red by now. The views from up top are phenomenal, so enjoy them before Hazard drops you roughly 1,200 feet to the Martian landscape below. Hazard feels like it used to maybe be a flow trail, but over the years it's seen so much traffic that it's now full of bomb holes. But in my opinion, this only makes things that much more fun.
Whoa, oh my God, that's deep.
Hazard then crosses the road and dumps onto the Kokopelli Trail, another popular access point when the upper reaches of the Whole Enchilada are still too wet. The Kokopelli Trail then quickly links up with UPS, and this is where the trail really takes on those classic Moab characteristics.
That's fun.
Riding the Whole Enchilada will sometimes feel like an exercise in slowly dismantling your bike, while you're still on it. It wants to rattle apart even the newest enduro bikes.
Oh man, that was not sexy.
So, you're gonna want to make sure your bike is properly tuned. If you're bad about doing your own bike maintenance, like I am, cough up the extra dollars and bring it to a shop. You might thank yourself later. But still, this is no guarantee your bike will make it to the bottom in one piece. I've seen many crews huddled around broken bikes, wishing MacGyver was around to help. Obviously, you're gonna want your bike tools. Obviously, you're gonna wanna bring tire plugs.
That goes close to the edge right there, huh?
And if you're still not running tubeless, which would be a mistake out here, you may want more than one spare tube with you. Zip ties are a good idea. Master links are a good idea. But most importantly, bring along someone who knows how to use all this stuff.
No. Dang it.
But the best way to keep your bike and your body in one piece is to know your limits and only ride what you can.
Yep, not today.
This time it's just the two of us.
That's definitely what it is. Nothing to do with me being terrified of this thing.
I love my bike dates with Anna, but I also love the confidence that having a larger, solid crew gives me. There's just a certain energy in the air when everyone is ripping the trail and nailing their lines. But be warned, make your group too large and you may be adding a few hours to an already long day. I think the first time I rode this, it took one other buddy and myself 8 hours from top to bottom. Now still, it takes Anna and me about 5 to 6 hours without any mechanical issues.
Ow! I thought you were pulling over.
Once you find yourself with a larger crew, what you really need to think about is the varied skill levels amongst the group. You will be bumping into other groups of riders throughout the day, especially if you're out here on a weekend. And once you find that your group is intertwined with another because you're faster than their fastest rider, but your buddy is slower than their slowest, well, good luck breaking away from that game of leapfrog.
It all just goes. Yep, you're gone.
But whether you're in a group that wants to send it as fast or as hard as they can, or in one that wants to play it smart and maybe enjoy the absolutely stunning scenery, make sure to pace yourself and take time to refuel. By the time you've reached Porcupine Rim, you've dropped some serious elevation, left the cool mountain air behind you, and traded it for the hot, dry desert. And that dry desert air is going to steal energy from you quick, right when you need it most.
That's so fun. So hard to pedal in here though.
you're gonna want to make sure you've brought along some snacks. I'm preferential to Shop Blocks, Scratch Labs hydration mix from my water bottle, and those awesome Epic Provisions beef jerky bars. I've even packed a sandwich on one or two occasions.
So chunky. Oh my goodness. I love that junk.
You're gonna want to wash all that down with lots of water. On a hot day out here, I've gone through 3 liters on my back and the water bottle on my bike. Hydration is key to staying sharp. And if you want to keep speed on the infamous chunder of Porcupine Rim, you're gonna want to keep a sharp mind. And stay light on your feet. There are fast lines out here, but they're not always easy to find.
Oh my goodness. That's chunkier than I remember too.
What looks like a clean line can easily be interrupted by the random, loose bowling ball-sized boulders that seem to be everywhere out here. Sometimes right in the landings of some of the best ledge drops of the whole ride. By this point on Porcupine Rim, you should have a pretty good sense of how the trail flows. But there's also a good chance you've already hit your peak and are beginning to drain energy more quickly than you can replenish it. Just remember, ride within your abilities here, as some of the most challenging and risky features are still to come. A lot can go wrong in 34 miles, especially with the trail this demanding. And features that might normally be easily tackled by most intermediate riders
It's so flat.
can seem intimidating with 25 exhausting miles behind you.
Oh, Jesus. What is that? I'm seeing stars. I didn't even hit my head. I thought this was a line. I thought it was this line. So I came off of that. I had to pull up over this little hole. My front tire landed like on that point of that fin right there.
Right, so it's more like your waist.
Well, to my feet? I guess my front tire probably rolled down to there, so yeah. But Jesus, that was scary.
The Whole Enchilada is littered with big features. Many of them on Porcupine Rim, when the river is drawing nearer, giving hope to that cool beer waiting for you at the end. And while there are always easier alternate lines, finding them can really slow a group's momentum. But the amazing thing about this trail is that almost everything goes. And it does the rider the kind favor of easing into things. Kinda. Obviously, Burro is steep, loose, and intimidating right off the bat. But it's also classic single track. So any intermediate rider should be able to put their skills to use. It's not until Kokopelli or UPS that the trail starts throwing those classic Utah flavors at you. It may look different than the terrain you're used to, but not to worry. The smooth rock is actually super grippy, and the chunky rock is actually pretty smooth. Well, no, it is super chunky. But skilled riders on modern bikes will have no trouble finding smooth lines. If you want to have a good time out here, you should practice trusting the trail builders, trusting your bike, and trusting yourself.
Whew, so ugly, but I got it.
You won't have trouble finding your flow state out here. 4-inch drops are easy. 6-inch drops will build your confidence. And by the end of this ride, you won't be slowing down for drops of 1, 2, or even 3 feet. I can remember grinning from ear to ear by the end of my first ride, knowing I just improved as a rider, knowing that because of how the trail flows and progresses, I progressed with it. I try to ride at least the half enchilada once a year, because every ride is a new experience. And with each ride, the trail becomes more familiar, more friendly. The drops, the exposure, and the features all become a little less intimidating.
She's never gotten that. Let's see if she can do it. Yeah, she's right behind me on it.
It's comforting knowing what's coming up ahead, being able to anticipate those super fun features you can't wait to tackle. Hopefully, this video will give you some idea of the fun you're in for. Hopefully, it takes away a bit of the stress and answers some of the questions you may have had. The Whole Enchilada should intimidate you. It's a big undertaking, but also, it's totally doable. There are many factors that go into making this adventure a successful one.
Oh no! Ah!
The trail is difficult, but it's not anything that intermediate riders won't be able to tackle. Just go in prepared. I can't tell you whether this ride is within your abilities or not, but what I can tell you is that should you decide to tackle this one, it will be an adventure you won't soon forget.
Whole chili Riano?
How do you the whole stuffed chili?
The whole stuffed chili? That doesn't sound right. The whole burrito. It's not the whole enchilada until you ride back to town.